Okay, hopefully the sound's going to record on this webcam. I've been having trouble with it. You got the USB 3 and it's supposed to work on USB 2, so I have to make sure I restart my computer when I do any filming. Anyway, this is Joshua Taylor. I'm coming to you with the Joshua Project. And as you see here, ARCs for the homeless, Action Response Centers. The Lord gave me this about 10 years ago when I was homeless. He put compassion in my heart and a vision for making these hexagonal shelters here. And so this is actually the way the shelter is laid out with the hex cradle. And my vision that I have is to build 1 million of these across uh, North America. Not me personally, but just like to be able to build this initial concept here, this H48, and make a cradle in it, make it, live in it for a week or two, and fine tune it, and just live in it and just see. That way you can work out the bugs, right? And it'd be nice to be able to do this on live cam. And okay, so this is more of a promotional during the month of March. I'd like to use this to raise up $2,500, and it'd probably take about half that money to buy the material and my time and labor. I'm donating that. I just need to be able to pay bills. So I'm donating my time and labor to actually make this initial concept. So you can see the little man there. That's me. That's 6 foot tall. And so this would be the H48 4-foot sides. And if you want to know how I got the 48, you take 4 times 4 is 16 times 3 is 48. That's how you get it. So on an H48, you have 8 feet top to bottom, and side to side you have about 86%, or around, this one here would be about 83 inches outside to outside. Inside it'd be just around 6 feet, around 72 inches. And I thought of a way where you could actually expand out. Actually, if this was 2x6, you would run into a little bit of problem where it would be tight on the inside. If you went to a 2x4 framework, you'd have more than 6 foot on the inside. But just on your building construction, these here would be 16 inches on center, say 2x6. So I can use 2x6 for all 5 of these different designs. And so you would have purlins built in to the sides every 16 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4 purlins. They're just lats that go across like this, that join your ribs together. And for that, instead of routering in, having to router the 2x6, a person could lat it out. That's just a thought. And maybe for the bigger concepts, you could lat it out. You probably could. Better to build the outside than try to router it. And so all you do is take plywood and make 1.5-inch strips, and you would strip this out, like little spacers in between, and then you make plywood strips 3.5 inches, and they would fit in between. And time you glue and screw it, it's all the same, and would have a very strong design. And so on the outside, once you got your plywood on, you could actually put like a metal flashover, and that would give you a very solid shell. And you're not interfering with the 5/8 gussets that you use to join the 2x6 framework together. Okay, I don't want to run too long on this. As you can see, you got 5 different sizes. The center is the largest one. So going from the smallest one, being for a homeless shelter, to this one here would be like a small cabin. On this one here, you'd actually use 8 foot, like a full 8 foot design. So that would give you uh, 16 feet. Doesn't quite look right. Well, 16 feet top to bottom. Or you would have about 13 and 3/4 from here to here on the outside. Inside, if you use 2x6 framing, it'll be 12 and 3/4. So that's good. And you're making use of your attic space. You virtually got no attic space. It's all usable space. And this part here, that's your underfloor, where you could actually use for your plumbing, your wiring, and other things that you can build in, right? Then, and your cradle, say if you got a stove here and you got a propane here, you could actually have your propane storage inside your cradle. Would be locked up. You might have water storage over here, gray water storage. So there are advantages, and that these hexagonal systems can be made into a fully contained unit. If you just have a 8x12 shed for a place to stay, I know they're making these in Seattle, and it's nice design, but it's not really containable. There's you'd have to strap things to the building to make it work. And this way, it's all uh, everything's enclosed. And okay, let's go to from the 4 foot to the 5 foot. So you got 10 feet top to bottom. So on H75, you would have 5 times 5 is 25 times 3 is 75. So that's 75 square feet on the front. So on this one here, you would have 104 inches across. On the outside, on the inside, you would have 7'6". So this is a little better for long term. This would work, be like a truck camper, right? And this is getting a nice size. I probably got the man a little bigger than what he ought to be. Okay, going to the H108, which I think this is a 6 foot, 4, 5, 6 foot. So you'd have 12 feet point to bottom, and you could probably still transport this on a truck. And so side to side, outside would be 125 inches, about 10'3" side to side. Now 12 foot point to point, and about 10'3" side to side. Inside would be 9'3". On the next size up, this here would be 7 foot sides. So you would have 14 top to bottom. Unless you have this on a low boy, it's probably not going to work. And so you'd have to probably break this down so all this flows into the cradle. And then you would have to assemble on site. So the H48, 75, and 108, you could still transport it. And this here, we'd have to, you could probably break this down and add one on the top. So you could probably have one cradle here, put another cradle on top, and you could transport it that way. And so some you could have ready to go, and some you would have to set up on site. Okay, on your H147, 14 feet. Outside to outside is 145 inches, about 12'6", and 12 and 1/4 feet. Outside to outside, and inside would be about 11 and 1/4. So about the size of this cabin that I'm in, of this trailer that I'm in now. This would be comparable, to the width and also to the height. And this would be about 6 feet on the trailer. This would be about 7 foot. So actually, the top of this would be higher than the ceiling here. Okay, let's go to the fourth size. This is a H192, 192 square feet. And this is using a full 2x6 by 8 foot. So you would have 16 feet point to point. And side to side, you would have 13 and 3/4 side to side, or 12 and 3/4 on the inside. So that gives you lots of space. You could have enough space in here for underfloor heating, You might be able to put water tanks in there, your plumbing, your electrical, all kinds of good stuff. And I'm looking at this one here. I actually got this one stuck on the other one. So I'm looking at this blue one. So this here would be 13 3/4 side to side. And okay, I think that's it. But this would be nice for a family. And see, whatever the height is, if the height on this is 16 feet, top to bottom, then the length would be 16 feet. If the height on this 12 foot top to bottom, then the length would be 12 foot, just as a general rule. And you know, on these smaller cabins, this 8 foot top to bottom, and just 6 foot usable space on the inside. You could actually have one here. You could set another one here. You could have a platform going in between, so you could actually set these up as double units side by side, or you could actually take one and put one behind another and have separate entrances. And but that would mess up your window. Or you could put an entrance between the two. So there's different ways. And this, I got about 3 different type of hexagonal designs. This is the first one that the Lord gave me, you know, for as a homeless shelter. And for a camp situation, say if you had these here set up around the perimeter here. Say if you had 2 here, 2 here, 2, 2, 2, and 2, 12 of these. The hexagonal cabin designs that I built to have outside this trailer that's 12 foot tall, like a hexagonal dome cabin, you could actually use that as a centerpiece. And so if you had a 16 foot hex cabin on the outside, that would give you plenty of room for people to come in here and cook, you know, cook their meals and sit and eat. You might want to go to an H24, a 24 foot diameter. That would give you more community center space. By using these cabin sizes and you know, the different upgrades, you could actually put a whole camp together. And you know, you could use these. You could put these together in rows with a road in between. That doesn't really promote community. You know, that's not really a native way of thinking. And almost all your older technologies, they always work from the inside out. And that's how it is in the Heavenlies. The Heavenlies are designed where you have a center and everything revolves around the center. That's nature. When you build things in rows, like row housing, it doesn't really promote community. That's why, you know, I stick to the hexagonal design and put it together into a hexagonal format. But my vision on this is to build 1 million of these. I just need to get this promoted and hope that the seed's going to fall into the hearts of the people where these can be made. So material cost on this would be roughly $1,000 in material costs. I'm just guessing. That's your windows, your door, and everything, right? And if you're going to do this, if you're going to fast track this, the Lord showed me today. He gave me just a snapshot where your this part here, where your cradle where it sits in. If you actually put ball bearing sets in here, these buildings you could slide, so you could actually make a long deal where you could have maybe 5 of these stations, and you start by making the framework. It goes down the line, and the plywood is put on the outside. It goes down the line, and the roofing goes on, the finish on the side, and it goes down the line. Then you start working on the inside. So when it comes off, it's all fully wired. So I'm looking at, you know, if you had 6 stations, 2 people working at each station, maybe 4 hours to make one of these cabins. That's good. So you would need a fairly long building, like a concept would be almost perfect for these. All right, I'm going to get this up, and maybe Donald Trump, maybe he'll see this and he'll say, well, This would be really good for the American people because we can get our homeless off the street. We can give vets a nice place to stay. They would have their own place. No more homeless vets and people that's lost their homes because of the depression and that. Well, you could put together these camps. People could be growing their own food, and people would be happy. But we need to do something. This is Joshua Taylor coming to you from Nanaimo, British Columbia, with the ARCs for the homeless, called the Joshua Project.